The night was quiet, terrifying quiet, the kind of silence that feels alive, the kind that listens. I arrived at the old house just after sunset. The owner, a woman named Claire, had called me in fear. She said something was inside the house, something that whispered when no one was awake, something that moved in the walls, something that touched her shoulder in the dark. I believed her because the moment I stepped inside, the air changed. It felt thick, like invisible fingers were pressing against my chest. The lights flickered, the floor creaked, and in the far hallway, I thought I saw a shadow standing still as if waiting for me. I whispered softly, "Show yourself," and something answered. A low, breathy voice crawled through the air. "Leave before it begins." Claire grabbed my arm. "Please don't listen. Please don't leave me alone." Her hands shook like she had been freezing in snow. Then we heard it, a scream, not human, not animal, a blood-freezing scream coming from the basement door. The house fell silent again, but it was not normal silence. It was a terrifying silence, like the whole place was holding its breath. I took one step toward the basement, and the door opened by itself. A cold wave hit my face like something dead had just breathed on me. My heartbeat slowed. The light behind us dimmed. Claire whispered, "It doesn't want us to go down there." But I had to. This was not a normal haunting. This was witchcraft, something old, something fueled by anger and sacrifice. As I moved down each stair, the temperature dropped. The walls dripped with something dark. At first I thought it was water, then I smelled it, copper, blood. I reached the bottom and saw symbols carved into the cement floor, fresh, deep, still warm. Claire followed me down, shaking. "I didn't do this. I swear." But before I could speak, the symbols began to glow. The room shook. The ceiling groaned. And inside the darkness, a shape slowly formed, tall, thin, with long arms that almost touched the ground. Its head tilted sideways like a broken doll. Then it whispered my name, not Claire's, mine. "Welcome, healer." My breath stopped. My skin tightened. Because whatever this thing was, it knew me. It had been waiting for me. And the way it spoke, it felt like it didn't want to hurt Claire, it wanted me. The lights went out. A hand touched the back of my neck, its fingers ice cold. And then the basement door slammed shut above us. The darkness felt alive around us. I could not see the creature anymore, but I could feel it. Its breath moved across my skin like cold needles. Claire pressed against the wall, whispering fast prayers under her breath. "Stay close to me," I said. But the creature answered instead. "Too late, healer." Its voice came from everywhere. The walls, the floor, the ceiling. It sounded like 1,000 whispers speaking at once. I lit the small charm I carried in my pocket. A faint orange glow filled the basement, and for a moment, everything froze. The creature was now standing only a few feet away. Its body was wrong. Too thin, too tall, the joints bending in the wrong direction. Its face had no skin, only darkness like a hole cut into the world. Claire screamed when she saw it. Her voice shook the basement, bouncing off the cold walls. The creature moved, not walking, not crawling, but sliding like its feet never touched the ground. I stepped forward, raising the charm. It hissed, pulling back slightly. Good, it feared light. But then something changed. The glowing symbols on the floor began to pulse, fast, then faster, like a heartbeat. The creature laughed softly. "You cannot stop what is already claimed." I looked at Claire. Her eyes were wide. Her hands were shaking. And then I saw it, a faint black mark on her wrist, like a burned symbol. My chest tightened. She wasn't just haunted. She was chosen. Before I could speak, a loud bang came from behind me. The basement shelves started shaking. Jars fell. Wood cracked. Claire grabbed my arm. "Make it stop, please." The creature slid closer, its head tilting again. Her fear feeds me. I stepped between them. "You want me? Leave her." It paused, then smiled, a smile with no mouth. "I want both." The charm in my hand flickered. The light grew weaker. "No, no, stay," I whispered. But the flame went out. Instant darkness. Claire screamed again, but this time her voice was cut off sharply, like a hand covered her mouth. I swung my arm in the dark, trying to find her. My fingers touched something soft, hair. I grabbed and pulled her closer, but something pulled back, something strong. Her nails scratched my wrist, trying to hold on. Then I heard it, a low growl behind her, deep, hungry. "Let her go," I shouted. A cold hand touched my face, not Claire's. The creature whispered, Choose. Healer, which life will you save? The basement lights flashed for 1 second, one terrible second, and I saw it. Claire was being dragged into the glowing symbols. Her feet scraped the floor. Her eyes were full of terror, and behind her, the creature's long arms opened wide, waiting. The lights went out again, and Claire disappeared. I ran blindly through the basement. The darkness clung to me like a wet cloth. Every step made my heart pound louder, so loud I thought the creature could hear it. Claire was gone. Only the faint smell of copper blood remained. Her scream echoed somewhere behind the walls, a scream I could not reach. Then I felt it, a shadow brushing my shoulder, a cold, crawling touch, not human, not alive. "Who's there?" I whispered. No answer, just silence, the silence that presses down on your chest, that makes breathing a fight. I saw a faint glow from the corner. The symbols from the basement floor were etched again, but now on the walls, glowing red, pulsing. The glow shaped like hands reaching out, and I realized it wasn't just drawing symbols, it was alive. I stepped closer. The air grew thick. My throat tightened. Then a soft voice whispered behind me, "Don't come closer." I spun around. Nothing, only the shadows, but they moved differently now, like something inside them was twisting. A sudden scraping sound came from above. The basement ceiling creaked. I froze. A long, black arm dropped from the rafters. It had no fingers, only sharp claws that scraped the floor. I stepped back, but another arm came from the floor this time. It circled around me like a snake, cold, slow, hungry. The walls began to close in. I could hear whispers everywhere, Claire's voice, my voice, voices I did not recognize, all screaming, all begging. Then I noticed something. The creature did not have a face, but its eyes were etched into the shadows, watching, waiting, smiling. I grabbed my charm again and flicked it toward the arms. The orange flame shone brightly. The arms recoiled. I thought I could breathe again, but the glow revealed something worse. Claire's shadow was stuck in the wall, her eyes wide, screaming silently, her hands reaching through the wall, trying to grab me. I ran up the stairs. The house shook. The windows rattled. Wind howled outside, and I could still hear the whispers. "Your turn. Healer, your turn." I reached the first floor. The lights flickered. A mirror caught my reflection, but it was not me. My eyes were black holes, my skin pale as death. And behind me, I could see the shadow grinning. It whispered my name again, slow, soft, promising pain. I knew I had to fight. I knew I had to save Claire, but I also knew the creature wanted me first. That I ran to the main room. The house felt alive. Walls moaned. Floors groaned. Shadows crawled like spiders. Claire's scream echoed from the basement. It was distorted now, like the house itself was swallowing her. I remembered the old book I carried, a book with ancient symbols and chants. It was supposed to help against witchcraft. Now it was my only hope. I opened it. The words glowed faintly. I traced them with my finger, whispered each line slowly, hoping the creature could not hear. Then I felt it, a presence behind me, heavy cold. It smelled of rot and wet earth. Its whisper was so close I could feel it on my neck. "Do you think words will stop me, healer?" The lights flickered. The symbols on the floor glowed brighter. And then I saw it, Claire, but she was different. Her eyes black, her mouth twisted, her skin pale as the moon. She was standing above the glowing symbols, arms raised, chanting softly in a language I did not understand. "No, Claire," I shouted, but she did not hear me, or maybe she could not. The creature stepped from the shadows, its body long and thin, bending at angles that should have been impossible. Its arms stretched toward Claire, but she did not flee. She continued to chant. The symbols pulsed faster, red, orange, black. The air burned with energy. I realized Claire was trying to fight back, but the creature was stronger than anything I had ever faced. It hissed, the sound like knives scraping metal. It lunged. I grabbed Claire's hand. She pulled back, but a shadow wrapped around us both, cold, crushing. The walls seemed to close in. I could hear bones cracking somewhere in the darkness. Then the air exploded with sound, a blood-curdling scream. The floor cracked. Dust filled the air. The creature was gone, for now. Claire collapsed. Her hands burned where the shadow had touched her. Her eyes filled with tears, but she smiled faintly. "They will come again," she whispered. "They never stop. Only one can survive." I shivered. The house was silent for a moment, too quiet, like a trap waiting to spring. I looked around. The glowing symbols on the floor were still alive, pulsing, beating like a heart. And I knew it. The fight had just begun. I had entered a world where darkness hunts everything you love, where shadows are alive, and where the line between life and death does not exist. I followed Claire down to the basement again. The steps groaned under my weight. The smell of blood and wet earth filled the air. The shadows moved differently this time, faster, sharper, hungry. The symbols on the floor glowed brighter than ever. Red light flickered on the walls, stretching the shadows into twisted, impossible shapes. Claire's eyes were hollow now, her skin pale, almost transparent. Her lips moved silently, chanting. I tried to grab her hand, but she recoiled. And from the darkest corner, I saw it. The creature, taller than any human, arms longer than the basement itself. Its head tilted sideways like a broken doll. It moved without sound, yet the air itself seemed to scream with its presence. It lunged at me. I barely dodged. A claw scraped the wall where I had stood. The sound was like metal tearing flesh. I lit my charm. The light flared, and for a second I thought it was gone. But the shadows did not shrink. Instead, they merged with Claire. Her body twisted unnaturally. Her eyes glowed black like pits of fire. She screamed, but it was not her voice. It was deep, guttural, 1,000 voices trapped in one. The creature's arms wrapped around her. Her skin burned where they touched. She fell to the floor, crawling, whispering my name. But every step she took left black, oozing marks on the basement tiles. I ran to her. The creature turned toward me. Its grin widened. But there was no mouth, just dark emptiness where teeth should have been. "You cannot save her," it whispered, "and now you will join her." I tried to chant from the book. The words barely came out. The creature moved faster than I could see. Its shadow reached across the room, touching me, burning me with cold. I felt my life drain into it, into the darkness that had already claimed Claire. I screamed. The walls shook. The basement seemed to fold on itself. The ceiling cracked. Dust and ashes fell on me. Claire's eyes met mine for a second, but there was nothing human left there. Then everything went silent. The glowing symbols dimmed. The creature, gone, for now. I crawled to the stairs, but I knew it was not gone. It had only paused, waiting for the right moment. I reached the top of the stairs. The house was no longer a house. It breathed. The walls moved like flesh. The shadows were alive. Claire was gone, or maybe she was still here. I could hear her voice, soft, pleading, but twisted, not human, not hers. The creature emerged from the darkness. Its arms stretched impossibly, bending the air itself. Its head tilted sideways, broken, unmoving. Its eyes were pits of endless black. And behind it, thousands of tiny shadows wriggled, crawling, whispering. I tried to move, but the floor pulled me down. Cold, sticky hands clung to my ankles. I fell face first into the floor. The symbols glowed red under my face, burning into my skin. Claire appeared. Her body was wrong. Limbs twisted in unnatural angles. Her eyes black, glowing. Her mouth opened. A scream that wasn't hers tore the air. And I realized she was part of it now. The shadows reached for me. They slithered into my hair, my ears, my mouth. I could hear hundreds of whispers, all laughing, all promising pain. I tried to chant. The book fell from my hands. The words made no sound. The creature leaned closer, and I could feel its cold breath inside my chest. Time stopped, or maybe it never existed. I was no longer moving, no longer thinking, just the darkness pulling me in. I saw Claire's eyes one last time. They weren't human. They weren't even hers. They were empty, endless, staring into me, into everything I feared. Then the shadows swallowed everything. The house disappeared. The floor vanished. I was falling through nothing, yet touching everything. And in that darkness, I understood. This was not a house, not a curse, not even a creature. It was eternal hunger, waiting for anyone curious enough to enter, waiting for the next scream. And the last thing I heard, a voice, soft, near my ear. "Welcome to forever." The darkness consumed me completely, and somewhere, deep, deep in the shadows, I knew I would never leave. If you enjoyed this horror story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more terrifying stories.